Well, today is World Creativity and Innovation Day, so why not talk with an expert about how all of us can innovate, especially when facing obstacles. She grew up in the Bay Area and graduated with high honors from UC Berkeley. She is an innovation strategist and author of Inventive by Nature, which will be out soon. And she's also collaborated with the UN Foundation and several Silicon Valley startups. And she joins us in studio now to talk about all of the above. Vanessa Thompson, great to have you with us and good morning.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on Global Innovation Day.
Absolutely, and it's a fitting time for this, right?
Yes, it certainly is.
Well, you point this out in your book, but innovation can certainly be intimidating, and you say it's relevant in everyday life. Why?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, we're all facing those challenges and those struggles in our own life, but there's no reason why we can't apply the same strategies that a successful Fortune 500 company would use to our own lives as well too. And so, here on Global Innovation Day, we're talking about pushing limits, we're talking about being more creative in our lives, which I think is so important when we're facing those roadblocks. And I think that a lot of people, when I talk to them in terms of clients or speeches and things like that, they feel really held back. So when you say, let's be more creative, let's be more innovative, they feel like, maybe this is gonna be too much to ask. But I think what's surprising is that every great innovator has been in that exact same situation. And it's actually those roadblocks and those challenges that often gave them the perspective they needed to create a breakthrough in their own lives, to make it better. And so that's something that's really interesting. When things are going well, there's no reason to change things, no reason to think outside the box. And so sometimes those roadblocks are actually what make us the most innovative.
And this is so relatable because we've all been there at one point in our life that have been faced with a struggle, whether it be at work or personal life.
Yes.
And you need that recipe, if you will, to release the stress.
Yeah.
And as you point out, there's a three-step approach to turn these challenges into innovation. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's called the struggle to strategy framework. And it's a really great way to just get started in terms of how am I going to be more innovative? How am I going to be more creative? The first step is really identifying the challenge. Now we complain about it, we might vent about it, but let's really understand it. Let's understand the dynamics of it. What is actually holding us back about that particular challenge? And then let's also get creative about the solution. So we may not need all the resources we think we need to achieve our goal. So maybe we want to start a business, for example, and we think we have to go back to school and get a degree and everything like that. Or maybe we could partner with someone who already has that degree to start the business. So there's all of these ways that we can find shortcuts that we can try to reach our goal. And the second piece is planning. Now, plans don't work, but planning does. So continually having those plans that evolve with your constantly changing life as well too. Have plan A, have plan B, have plan C. And when you do that, you're ready for when those resources do come your way, when you are able to take that chance on yourself. So when you plan, you're prepared for all of those options. And the last cannot be said enough, which is networking. Networking is so important. Even the most resourced people in the world need a network to make their dreams come true. So thinking about how can I invest in really building a community that will support my dream and goal is so important. And those three steps, just identifying the problem, planning, and networking, can get you so much further towards creating a more innovative and creative life.
So you're turning those procrastinators into planners.
Yes, absolutely. That's the plan.
And you've worked with companies small and large, I mean, from right here in Silicon Valley to Fortune 500 companies. What have been some of the most common issues you've seen?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one big piece is overwhelm. There's so many challenges that we're facing kind of in the macroeconomic environment and also in our own personal lives. It's so difficult to think about how am I going to create the next product? How am I going to create a more innovative and creative life when you feel overwhelmed in your own personal life? But sometimes, as I mentioned, those challenges actually can be an opportunity. And there's a great case study from my book that explains this. There's this one doctor who's in the same situation I think a lot of us are. We're overwhelmed, overworked, and he actually worked at a hospital that didn't have enough financial resources to even afford life-saving care and devices in some cases. So he invented a respirator for infants for only $3. And that's really remarkable when most respirators go for $20,000 US. He found a breakthrough. $3, which is really remarkable considering that the respirator market's a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's plenty of smart, brilliant doctors out there, but only he figured it out. And it was because he was in a situation that was so difficult, because he was financially constrained, because he was stressed, and because he was so motivated to save people's lives. So sometimes those difficult situations actually can be the unlock. All those other brilliant doctors in better situations didn't figure it out. He did. So whenever we're thinking about that in our own lives, realize that sometimes these difficult situations can give us the perspective we need to be more innovative. And of course, if you buy my book, you'll get even more ideas.
Exactly. No, and a perfect example of how those roadblocks force you to think more creatively.
Absolutely.
And speaking of your book, which is behind us, Inventive by Nature, where can we buy it?
Yes, so you can sign up for the waitlist on my website, which is the-sustainability-experts.com, or my speaking website as well too, which is vanessathompson.com, or just reach out to me, Vanessa Thompson, and always happy to collaborate and learn from others.
Wonderful, great, and we'll have those links over on our website, Vanessa. Great, so great for you to be with us, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.